What's up guys, CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new trailer breakdown, this time for the big one, our very first teaser trailer for Ryan Coogler and Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. By far and away one of my most anticipated films of 2018, not even just superhero movies, I'm talking films in general. So, does the trailer live up to my hype? 2 words, hell and yes. But let's break down all those shots, and there is a lot to dissect, so strap in, I'm gonna try and hit everything I noticed, but without further ado, let's get started. Our trailer opens with Ulysses Klaw in handcuffs and still missing that arm he lost in Age of Ultron, being interrogated by Martin Freeman's G-Man Everett Ross, who we were introduced to back in Captain America Civil War. One of the most interesting little tidbits in the trailer comes about as a result of this interrogation. When asked by Klaw what he knows about Wakanda, Ross replies that it's a third world country, complete with, in his words, shepherds, cool outfits, the whole 9 yards. But he's wrong, of course, as only we and Klaw know. It's all a front. You see, as far as the outside world is concerned, Wakanda is that third world nation. In reality, though, it is hyper advanced, with technology surpassing most, if not all, first world countries. While they don't share with us in this trailer, at this time at least, how Wakanda became so advanced, Klaw's comments about Wakanda actually being El Dorado suggest it might have something to do with the country's vast mineral wealth, fueled by primarily, you guessed it, vibranium. That is going to be a really interesting plot point in my opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be at the forefront of the plot too, personally. You can't just have this illusion revealed in the first trailer and not touch it. I mean, it's Chekhov's gun. In one of our next few shots, we see Chadwick descending from some kind of Wakandan spaceship hovercar hybrid in front of a massive assembled crowd, at the front of which is Forrest Whitaker's Zuri. In the comics, Zuri was a loyal warrior for T'Challa's father, T'Chaka. He's a little bit older, but he's still a badass, though in this movie, I'm thinking he's gonna be more of the wise advisor for the embattled young king. We later see a shot of him conducting or participating in some sort of ritual, wearing the same thing he did in that earlier scene, so maybe this is some kind of coronation or a presentation to the Panther god? Speaking of that, next we get a really cool shot of the Panther taking out some armed mercenaries or guerrilla fighters here, including kicking one that literally flies into and dents a pretty tough-looking land cruiser. Again, in this scene, it bears wondering, especially after today's synopsis mentioned unleashing the true power of the Panther. Is the MCU's Black Panther magically enhanced, blessed by the Panther god, or chemically enhanced like some sort of Wakandan super soldier? But I guess only time will tell. Next up, we get a really cool shot of the King's Panther ship flying into Wakanda's central hub, capital city, vibrant downtown area, which of course looks appropriately hyper-advanced. It's an interesting and very cool and accurate blend of African culture and architecture melded with skyscrapers, and I can't wait to see more of that world on screen. Shortly thereafter, we get our first look at Michael B. Jordan's Eric Killmonger, who dons a horned mask before breaking Klaw out of the room he was being interrogated in with a group of mercenaries. One of these guys in the back is definitely not Wakandan, so maybe Killmonger wants to take the throne and open Wakanda to make himself wealthy by allowing outsiders in? Just a shot in the dark. In the next shot, set in a swanky bar casino hybrid, we get our first look at Lupita Nyong'o, who's playing Nakia in the film. Reports on her character have varied, with some saying she's one of the Dora Milaje, Black Panther's bodyguards, while other earlier reports indicated she might be King T'Challa's love interest in the film. A later scene backs up the latter theory, as the king pats the head of a young boy while standing with Nakia, with 2 other Dora Milaje standing guard nearby. And notably, Nyong'o isn't dressed as one of the Milaje here. We also get a look at who I think is Walking Dead's Michonne herself, Denai Guerrera, kicking all sorts of ass in that same bar, and in heels, I think. In one of the more intriguing shots in the trailer, T'Challa walks towards a crowd on a hill with his armor on but his mask off. The crowd is interesting too, as everyone seems to be in formal wear, a lot of robes, with the Dora Milaje all armored up and holding spears. It could be different tribes all assembled, so again, I'm curious as to what this scene might be. Maybe this is something tied to the king's coronation. This next scene was one of the ones that was sticking in my mind the most, as a visibly angry Killmonger is led in handcuffs by W'Kabi, the chief of Wakandan security. In fact, you're probably staring at Killmonger so much you don't realize W'Kabi is played by Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. Over the next few shots, we get a ton of action, so I'm really gonna try to just hit the highlights. We see the Wakandan Throne-Room, featured in the poster, a massive room with good looks at more of the armored Dora Milaje and, just my guess, some of the king's advisors or potentially other tribal leaders. We also see a shot of 4 people being led by large men wearing white furs, potentially the white gorilla cult working for M'Baku the man-ape, who we know is in the movie, played by Winston Duke, but isn't seen until a later shot. There he is. The identity of those 4 people we find out in the very next shot. It's Nakia, Black Panther's sister Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, his mother Ramonda, played by Angela Bassett, and none other than Everett Ross, blending in with the snow but sticking out like a sore thumb in this crowd. The next shot, though, is another one of the more intriguing ones in the short teaser, as Killmonger jumps and spins in the air, attacking none other than T'Challa, in what looks like a follow-up to that earlier scene of him stepping out of the Panther plane. If you look behind them in this shot, you also see the same advisors or tribal leaders who were assembled in that earlier throne room scene, so this is either a mano-a-mano duel to the death to settle Killmonger's rebellion, or it's what kicks off the rebellion in the first place. Speaking of Killmonger fighting people, he likes to do that, as he draws some daggers and goes toe-to-toe with more than a dozen Dora Milaje. Smart idea? Probably not. But it looks like it might have been a setup, as the Milaje find themselves surrounded, leading to another shot of Nakia joining the fight with Shuri, who's rocking some sick Panther power gauntlets. And last but not least, we get our best indication yet that the Panther is getting some sort of magical power, as he bursts off of a car with purple energy before sticking the superhero landing on another car. Even though the CGI is unfinished in this scene pretty clearly, it looks dope. That's all I could grab from the trailer, so let me know what you thought and what your favorite moment was in the comment section down below. But that's gonna do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.